It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker and honored guest, Mr. Van Brooks. Van Brooks was born and raised in West Baltimore City, and he attended Father Charles Hall Elementary School and Loyola Blakefield for middle and high school. In 2004, when he was a junior in high school, Brooks' life as he knew it changed forever. While making a routine tackle during a football game, Van suffered a severe spinal cord injury that left him paralyzed from the neck down. Yet, Brooks did not let this injury define his life. Instead, he went on to make a miraculous recovery, which included graduating from high school on time, earning a degree from Towson University, and taking a few steps on his own. After graduating from Towson University in 2012, Brooks founded Safe Alternative Foundation for Education, also known as SAFE, with the mission of informing youth about the importance of obtaining an education as well as developing an alternate career plan in anticipation of life's deviations. To help implement this mission in October 2015, Brooks opened the SAFE Center youth facility, and at the SAFE Center, students received the opportunity to participate in hands-on after-school, weekend, and summer learning opportunities. Along his journey, Brooks became the youngest living Legends Award recipient and received both the President's Volunteer Service Award from President Barack Obama and Loyola Blakefield's inaugural Men for Others Award. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Van Brooks.
Thank you all. It's such an honor to have this opportunity to share my story with everyone here. The introduction explained a lot of what I was going to share in the beginning, so I'll just get right to the important and good parts of what I came to say. So in 2004, as stated, I was playing in a football game, and I went in for a routine tackle, and I broke my neck. But before that, there was a conversation that would eventually be very important to me that I had with my father. And one of the things he used to always tell me was, never put all your eggs in one basket. And I didn't understand what that meant at the time, but he explained it. When you focus on one thing in life and that thing doesn't happen or is taken away from you, what will you do? I was 16 years old. I was a junior in high school. Being a highly recruited athlete, especially with football, I thought I was going to have the picks of what college I wanted to attend for football. And he used to always say, never put all your eggs in one basket. And I used to always tell him, I'm going to make it to the NFL. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. But unfortunately, something did happen. And as I said, I went in for a routine tackle. I broke my neck, and I didn't get up from that. And I woke up in the hospital where I was paralyzed from the neck down. And doctors came in and told me, well, Mr. Brooks, you'll be like that for the rest of your life, so get used to it. Now, at the time, I couldn't eat, I couldn't talk, and I couldn't breathe on my own. All I could do was cry. And one of the questions that always came to my mind was, why me? I had everything going for me. I was a good student for the most part. I was a good kid. Why me? This was my opportunity to make a difference for my family. So why me? And my father used to always say to me, well, why not you? And again, I never understood what that meant. But eventually I would figure out why I was going through what I went through, why it was me that was paralyzed from the neck down and unable to do anything. One of the hardest questions I've ever had to ask myself was, why me? So I'm going to show a video before explaining to you why it was me and why I did go through everything that I went through. But before we show it, there's two key points that I would like everyone to listen out for and pay attention to. The first is, When you know your why, you have options on what your what can be. Again, when you know your why, you have options on what your what can be. And the second point is, when you know your why, your what has more impact. So we can play the video.
The series is called How Do I Know? And a lot of times when people hear the phrase, how do I know, the next thing they say is what? How do I know what? But the key really isn't to know what, the key is to know why. Because when you know your why, you have options on what your what can be. For instance, my why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. My what is stand-up comedy. My what is writing books. My what can be going out with some friends to eat. In fact, another what that has moved me towards my why is a web series that we have out now called Break Time. So every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, you should subscribe to the channel. We do a series called Break Time on YouTube. So 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode. One episode in particular, I'm about to show you a clip to. We were in Winston-Salem. So break time, this is how it works. I travel the country, I do stand-up comedy, probably an hour, hour and a half at an event. And in the middle of my show, I'll just sit down and start talking to the audience. And funny just happens. Or I'll meet somebody who's really interesting. So I met this one guy, and he said that he teaches music at a school. I was like, all right, you teach music, can you sing? And then I'm just gonna show you the clip. Check it. So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Right now I'm found, was blind, but now I see.
So here's the thing. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time I asked him to sing, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what has more impact because you're walking in or towards your purpose.
So when thinking about everything that I was going through, I understood what I was going through. I understood the physical pain that I was feeling. I understood the emotional pain that I was feeling, as well as what my family was going through and what my friends were going through. I understood and knew what those things were. But again, I still didn't have the answer to why I was going through those things. I still didn't have the answer to that. And it would take 8 years and 2 days after my injury for me to finally figure out why I was going through what I was going through. So we can play the second video. Thank you. So what you just saw was me taking my first steps towards my purpose. That was the first time that I was able to stand up on my own and take steps, walking towards my purpose. Now, the story behind that was, like I said, it was 8 years before I was able to achieve that. And this is the conversation I had with myself that morning that happened. I woke up as usual and got myself together. And as I was driving over to therapy, I kept telling myself to turn around because I didn't want to go. And all the things that I've been hearing from friends, from family, and just from random people as to why are you still going to therapy, nothing's going to change. The doctor's saying, Mr. Brooks, you'll be paralyzed for the rest of your life. Nothing's going to change. And I almost gave up. And how the saying goes, don't quit before the miracle happens. I almost gave up and almost quit. So the entire 20-minute drive I was going over to therapy, I kept telling myself to turn around. It wasn't worth it. And then I ended up in the parking lot. And once I got in the parking lot, I said, well, I'm here now, so I'm going to storm in. I'm going to tell my therapist, I want to try walking today. And if you don't let me walk, I'm just going to sign out, and I'm never coming back. And that happened. That happened. And that's when I finally realized why I went through everything that I went through. It was because God was preparing me for something much bigger than sports. And he was preparing me to do something much bigger than myself. Much bigger than myself. Growing up in West Baltimore, I grew up in one of the toughest neighborhoods there are. I still live in that community. And that's where I opened up my youth center. That gave me the insight to what was needed in the community. We had, when I was growing up, a lot of organized sports and free activities. Today we don't. My center is the only one that still provides those things. Going to the schools that I went to, it gave me the education that I would need to be successful. It gave me and allowed me to meet the people that would eventually be the backbone of the organization. Going through my paralysis, it taught me patience. It taught me patience. And it taught me hard work, and it taught me what it really means to be dedicated to something. To dedicate your life, or should I say to dedicate my life, to getting out the wheelchair and proving everyone wrong. So in all of that, what was my purpose? My purpose was to start Safe Alternative Foundation for Education, and to open the Safe Center, and to give kids hope. Kids from my community, the hope that I had growing up. That was my purpose. And when looking back at it, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. There were times where I could only see the next step ahead of me. I couldn't see the entire path. And during your time here at Stevenson, you're going to have a lot of those days where you're only going to be able to see the next step in front of you and not be able to see the entire path. But trust the process. You have to trust the process, because the journey and the process is a major part to finding your purpose. It's a major part. So don't give up before the miracle happens. Don't do it. As I always say, giving up is easy. We weren't born and we aren't here to give up. So before I leave, I would like everyone to repeat after me. A person is not defeated when they lose. They're defeated when they give up. Thanks.